From New York to Florida, meantime, some unexpected good news for Democrats in yesterday's elections. It showed that predictions of a red wave might be overblown, or might not. Yahoo Finance's Rick Newman joined us now with some of his takeaways. So, Rick, not just Democrats, but it seemed like establishment Democrats versus some of the more progressive Democrats, it seemed to be a good night for them.
That's right. There were a couple of races in which what you might call more moderate or centrist Democrats beat progressives in the primaries. That was one in New York, also in Florida. A more interesting race was this special election in New York State where a Republican was leading in the polls by almost by double digits. And it looked like that was going to be a shoo-in Republican seat. And instead, a Democrat won a narrow victory there. So think about what we know about polling errors from the last several years. Usually, these polling errors have underestimated the strength of Republican candidates, and especially Trumpy Republican candidates. And now that seems to have flipped. Now, this is just one race. It's a special election, and it's risky to draw conclusions from just one race. But this does suggest that what has happened with the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade and other things that are happening are boosting Democratic turnout and giving Democrats more momentum than we're seeing in the polls. So the analysis I'm seeing, no one really seems to think that Democrats are likely to hold on to the House. That's going to be tough. But it is more likely they will hold on to the Senate, which would be a consolation prize for Democrats in the midterms. Now, we still have a lot of to go through before we get there. But Democrats have some momentum, which is not something most of us saw just a couple of months ago.
Rick, we're also on high alert, supposed to get an announcement on student loan debts from the president. How do you think that will change his approval ratings? What does it mean to the administration?
Right. So what Biden seems likely to do is to announce student debt forgiveness up to $10,000 with an income limit. So it would be just for borrowers who earn $125,000 or less. This is a bit of a lose-lose for Biden. He does not like student debt forgiveness. He did not really support any big student debt forgiveness as a candidate in 2020. But Democrats do favor student debt forgiveness. So Biden kind of feels like he needs to do something here. So what this will probably do is moderately appease some Democrats. Of course, some wanted a lot more forgiveness, up to $50,000 or maybe all student debt forgiveness. Biden's not going to do that. But look, there are legitimate fairness questions here, because if you had this, if you had $300 billion, which is what this is likely to cost to spend on a social program, you would not target it at college graduates. You would target it at lower income people who need the help more. That is not happening. So there are going to be some independent voters and probably a lot of Republicans who are going to say this is a waste of taxpayer money. But it's something Biden really just has to do to get along with Democrats and show that he is going to do something for student borrowers, before the midterms in November.
Yahoo Finance senior columnist Rick Newman, thanks so much.
Bye, guys.